the silent threat to your heart you cannot begin to. Imagine how many people die with completely clean blood vessels, not because they enjoyed excellent health, but because their hearts simply couldn't endure the strain any longer. These individuals lived their entire lives without experiencing any symptoms, carrying on as usual until suddenly a sharp attack, loss of consciousness, chest pain, and then heart disease isn't something that appears without warning. For years, night after night, small blood clots can form within your vessels. They don't hurt or cause concern, but one day, one of these clots might block a vessel entirely, and at that point, there will be no time left to correct the mistake. The renowned Dr. Benjamin Hawkins cautioned that clean vessels aren't a coincidence, but rather the result of a conscious approach to health. Dr. Hawkins understood that blood must remain fluid, flow freely throughout the body, while vessels must maintain their elasticity. This profound insight led him to develop a remarkable remedy that helped blood vessels cleanse themselves naturally. His meticulous research focused on how the cardiovascular system functions as an integrated whole, rather than treating symptoms in isolation. 3 critical mistakes that endanger your heart now. We'll examine the 3 major mistakes that cause blood to thicken, vessels to clog, and the heart to operate at its absolute limit. You'll discover why even outwardly healthy people can suddenly face catastrophic cardiovascular events without warning. We'll explore the underlying causes that gradually destroy the vascular system and, most importantly, what immediate actions you can take to prevent this disaster. If your heart is precious to you, and I know it is, write the number 2 in the comments and subscribe to our channel for continuous, life-saving health advice. Your attention today could literally save your life tomorrow. Now, let's begin this vital journey toward heart health. The invisible progression of vascular disease. Have you noticed how some people feel fine their entire lives, then suddenly find themselves in intensive care? Many attribute this to age or heredity, but the truth is far more alarming. Dr. Hawkins was the first to speak openly about how clogged vessels aren't a random occurrence, but a process that progresses silently in the body for decades. While a person feels no pain, they assume everything is fine. However, inside their vessels, dangerous deposits gradually accumulate, causing blood to thicken and blood pressure to become unstable. The frightening reality is that this process continues undetected until it reaches a critical threshold. My colleague had a neighbor, a robust 55-year-old man who never complained about his health. He went to work regularly, renovated his home, tended to his garden, and remained active at all times. One evening, he returned from work feeling slightly dizzy. By morning, he was gone. Doctors explained that his heart had failed due to a blood clot that blocked a critical vessel. No one saw it coming, yet the warning signs had been there all along, hidden beneath the surface of apparent good health. Dr. Hawkins dedicated years to studying how blood circulates through the body and what impedes its normal flow. His groundbreaking research revealed that blood clots aren't a death sentence. They can be dissolved naturally if the right conditions exist within the body. This insight revolutionized our understanding of cardiovascular health. Nocturnal danger, sleeping blood clots, but why do some people maintain clean vessels while others begin to experience blockages as early as age 40? The answer lies in a process that occurs every night while we sleep, a phenomenon Dr. Hawkins termed nocturnal blood thickening. Have you ever wondered why many heart attacks occur early in the morning? Why do people wake up with heaviness in their legs, dizziness, or strange ringing in their ears? Dr. Hawkins discovered something remarkable. Blood thickens more significantly at night than during the day. During daylight hours, we move around, the heart actively pumps blood, and muscles work continuously. However, when we lie down to sleep, blood flow slows considerably. If vessels already contain small deposits, these begin transforming into sleeping clots during the night. For years, a person might notice nothing unusual. They wake with mild discomfort, attribute it to fatigue or age-related changes, but each night microscopic blood clots continue to grow. Sometimes the body manages to dissolve these clots naturally, but if this process repeats for years, vessels gradually become obstructed. The first signals that your vessels are already in danger include waking with heaviness in your legs, or a feeling of stiffness throughout the body, experiencing ringing in the ears, or slight dizziness upon waking, feeling tired rather than refreshed after sleep. Dr. Hawkins insisted these symptoms should never be ignored. They indicate that profound changes are occurring within your vascular system. The body's natural cleansing mechanisms need support, which is precisely why Dr. Hawkins developed a unique recipe based on natural components that work when the body is most receptive during sleep. Dr. Hawkins' natural vascular cleansing formula. Dr. Hawkins understood that the best way to protect the heart isn't to wait for symptoms to appear, but to help vessels naturally dissolve clots, improve blood fluidity, and restore vascular elasticity. Unlike pharmaceutical interventions that provide immediate but temporary effects, His remedy worked deeply and gradually, initiating natural cleansing processes. Dr. Hawkins recognized that nature offers powerful remedies for maintaining cardiovascular health. Hawthorn dilates blood vessels, reduces heart strain, and improves blood circulation. Its flavonoids strengthen the heart muscle while simultaneously relaxing peripheral blood vessels. Red clover thins blood and prevents the formation of new clots. Rich in isoflavones, it helps maintain proper blood viscosity and supports hormonal balance that affects vascular health. Garlic, one of the most potent natural anticoagulants, but it must be properly prepared to activate its beneficial compounds. Allicin, the active component in garlic, helps reduce cholesterol and prevents platelet aggregation. Valerian root relaxes blood vessels and relieves nervous tension. Its valopotriates and valerianic acid work together to reduce vascular spasms and promote healthy blood flow. Bay leaf helps vessels, cleans toxins, and strengthens their walls. Rich in antioxidants that protect vessel integrity and support cellular health. The most important aspect isn't simply mixing these ingredients, but preparing them correctly. Dr. Hawkins knew that improperly extracted herbs lose up to 80% of their beneficial properties. His meticulous approach involved specific preparation methods that preserved and enhanced the potency of each component. The key feature of his recipe was taking it before bedtime, when active components work with maximum effectiveness. The formula was designed to work in harmony with the body's natural circadian rhythms, supporting cardiovascular function during the critical overnight hours when blood naturally thickens. After just a few weeks, people using this method reported remarkable improvements. Disappearance of morning heaviness in the legs and dizziness, stabilized blood pressure with fewer sudden fluctuations, return of physical lightness and improved energy, enhanced sleep quality and morning alertness, reduced dependence on pharmaceutical interventions. The silent killer sedentary lifestyle. Most people don't realize they're creating perfect conditions for clot formation. They believe proper nutrition and medications will solve all problems, but Dr. Hawkins observed a disturbing pattern. Patients who moved little experienced deteriorating vascular conditions at an accelerated rate. Prolonged sitting is a silent vascular killer. When a person remains in one position for extended periods, blood begins to stagnate, becoming thick while vessels lose elasticity. This is particularly dangerous if someone moves little after eating. Dr. Hawkins asserted that the biggest mistake is sitting or lying down immediately after a meal. At this moment, blood becomes more viscous, and if it stagnates in vessels, the risk of clot formation increases dramatically. Simple advice that saves vessels: after eating, don't sit or lie down. Instead, take a short walk to prevent blood stagnation. In the morning, perform gentle movements, stretch, rotate your neck, flex your legs to help the body awaken vessels, and initiate circulation. If you sit for long periods, stand up and move every 30 minutes. Even minimal activity significantly reduces the risk of clot formation. Research confirms that people who move insufficiently have blood that flows 15–20% slower. The heart is forced to work with doubled effort, and vessels wear out faster. Dr. Hawkins emphasized that even 5 minutes of light movement after eating could dramatically improve vascular health and reduce heart strain. What's particularly concerning, Dr. Hawkins noted, is how modern lifestyle patterns create the perfect storm for vascular problems. The combination of desk jobs, digital entertainment, and convenient transportation means many people remain sedentary for most of their waking hours. This evolutionary mismatch, human bodies designed for movement confined to stationary positions, creates profound cardiovascular challenges. Beverages that destroy blood vessels, and what to drink instead. But even if a person leads an active lifestyle, they may unwittingly damage their vessels with certain beverages. Dr. Hawkins knew that what we drink affects blood condition no less than what we eat. He observed that people who consumed specific beverages developed fragile vessels, while their blood became thick and sluggish. The most significant mistake is drinking cold beverages immediately after eating. Dr. Hawkins explained that cold temperatures constrict vessels, causing spasms and impeding normal blood flow. As a result, food digests more slowly, blood thickens, and vessels gradually lose elasticity. Drinks that harm vessels. Ice water after meals causes vascular spasm and disrupts blood circulation. The sudden temperature change forces the body to divert blood flow from digestive organs to regulate core temperature. Strong coffee on an empty stomach overloads the heart, increases blood pressure, and makes blood thicker. Caffeine's stimulating effect creates unnecessary cardiovascular stress when the body is already in a fasting state. Alcohol in large quantities initially dilates vessels, then sharply constricts them, creating additional strain on the heart. This roller coaster effect is particularly damaging to vascular elasticity. Beneficial alternative: warm water in the morning helps rehydrate after sleep and initiates cleansing processes. It gently stimulates circulation without shocking the system. Lemon water cleanses vessels and prevents clot formation. Rich in vitamin C, it supports collagen production essential for vessel wall integrity. Ginger tea improves blood circulation and strengthens vessel walls. Its natural compounds have anti-inflammatory and circulation-enhancing effects. Bay leaf and honey infusion, an ancient method for maintaining vessel elasticity. This combination supports natural detoxification while providing antioxidant protection. Dr. Hawkins discovered that proper beverages could literally change blood composition, making it more fluid and preventing clotting. His research showed that consistent consumption of vessel-supporting beverages could, over time, significantly improve cardiovascular parameters even in patients with existing conditions. The emotional component of heart health. But even if someone eats properly and drinks beneficial beverages, there's another factor that can undermine all efforts, and it's related not to the body but to emotions. Dr. Hawkins was among the first to notice that emotions directly impact vascular health. He observed that people living with constant tension, anxiety, or irritation developed heart and pressure problems earlier than those with more balanced emotional live. The silent threat to your heart you cannot begin to. Imagine how many people die with completely clean blood vessels, not because they enjoyed excellent health, but because their hearts simply couldn't endure the strain any longer. These individuals lived their entire lives without experiencing any symptoms, carrying on as usual until suddenly a sharp attack, loss of consciousness, chest pain, and then. Heart disease isn't something that appears without warning. For years, night after night, small blood clots can form within your vessels. They don't hurt or cause concern, but one day, one of these clots might block a vessel entirely, and at that point, there will be no time left to correct the mistake. The renowned Dr. Benjamin Hawkins cautioned that clean vessels aren't a coincidence, but rather the result of a conscious approach to health. Dr. Hawkins understood that blood must remain fluid, flow freely throughout the body, while vessels must maintain their elasticity. This profound insight led him to develop a remarkable remedy that helped blood vessels cleanse themselves naturally. His meticulous research focused on how the cardiovascular system functions as an integrated whole, rather than treating symptoms in isolation. Blood vessels constrict sharply when a person feels anxious. Blood flow slows, and if someone experiences chronic stress, blood becomes thick while the heart works under constant strain. This mind-body connection was revolutionary in Dr. Hawkins' time, but has since been thoroughly validated by modern research. Emotional states that damage vessels. Anger causes adrenaline spikes, vessel spasm, and elevated blood pressure. The body enters a fight-or-flight response that taxes the cardiovascular system. Fear slows blood circulation, making it thicker and more prone to clotting. Chronic fear maintains the body in a state of preparedness that exhausts vascular resources. Anxiety creates persistent stress that wears down the heart. The constant vigilance associated with anxiety prevents vessels from fully relaxing. Dr. Hawkins advised paying attention not only to physical but also to emotional health. He recommended deep breathing, relaxation techniques, and emotional regulation practices. While these approaches seemed unconventional in his era, modern studies confirm that stress is one of the primary causes of cardiovascular disease. If a person learns to manage their emotions, their heart and vessels function more efficiently. This emotional component explains why some individuals with healthy lifestyles still develop heart problems. Missing piece is often emotional balance. A holistic approach to cardiovascular health, Dr. Hawkins, maintained that clean vessels aren't luck but the result of a proper lifestyle. People who live consciously don't wait for problems to arise. They care for their hearts proactively. If you want your vessels to remain clean and elastic, here are 3 key principles Dr. Hawkins considered most important. 1. Blood purification using proper beverages and natural components that help the body dissolve clots and strengthen vessels. This isn't about occasional detox, but consistent support for the body's natural cleansing mechanisms. 2. Movement. Even 5 minutes of light walking after meals can prevent blood stagnation and reduce heart strain. Regular, gentle movement throughout the day maintains proper blood viscosity and supports vascular health. 3. Emotional balance. Stress management, deep breathing, and mindfulness help vessels remain relaxed. Creating space between stimulus and response allows the cardiovascular system to function optimally. More than 100 years have passed since Dr. Hawkins' discoveries, but his methods remain effective. The human body hasn't changed. Nature's laws haven't changed. If you eat properly, consume beneficial beverages, move regularly, and control your emotions, your heart will work like clockwork even in old age. Implementing these principles in modern life, the brilliance of Dr. Hawkins' approach lies in its simplicity and accessibility. Unlike complex medical interventions, his recommendations can be implemented by anyone, regardless of their circumstances. Here's how to apply his wisdom in contemporary life. Morning ritual. For vessel health, begin each day with warm water and lemon to gently stimulate circulation. Perform 5-10 minutes of stretching to waken blood vessels. Practice deep breathing to oxygenate blood and prepare the cardiovascular system. Throughout the day, Set reminders to stand and move every 30 minutes if your work is sedentary. Choose warm or room temperature beverages, especially after meals. Take short walks after lunch and dinner, even if just for a few minutes. Evening protection. Prepare Dr. Hawkins' herbal mixture to support overnight vascular health. Practice emotional release techniques before sleep to prevent stress accumulation. Elevate legs slightly while sleeping to improve circulation in lower extremities. What makes Dr. Hawkins' approach particularly valuable is its cumulative effect. While pharmaceutical interventions may provide immediate but temporary relief, consistent application of these natural principles creates lasting improvements in cardiovascular health. The body responds to this gentle, persistent care by gradually restoring proper function. If you've watched this video to the end and found it valuable, write the number 2 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you're not yet subscribed, do it right now. Click the subscription button and the bell to ensure you don't miss new videos that will help you maintain health and extend your life. Your support helps us continue creating beneficial content. Remember, your heart doesn't need heroic interventions. It needs consistent care, understanding, and respect for the natural processes that keep it functioning optimally. Dr. Benjamin Hawkins understood this profound truth a century ago, and his wisdom remains our guide to cardiovascular health today.